G'day there, family. I've just woken up after another horrific dream last night. So realistic that I was 100% convinced that there were people inside my caravan talking. Strange thing is, this has been going on for 3 weeks now, and I haven't dreamt for years and years that I can remember. Now, to make it even more bizarre, the voices that I heard tonight sounded exactly like the girl pictured in that movie, The Exorcist. A very demonic, horrible voice. I was seriously convinced that I was in a movie, that I was awake. Anyway, regardless of all that, after watching Brother David's video just now, and he mentioned some signs that occurred on May 10th, they were fairly generic signs for me, given the fact that we've seen a lot of CMEs and wars and reports of wars and all that sort of stuff for quite a long time now. So the signs that David pointed out, whilst they may be significant, they weren't significant for me specifically. But in my lifetime, I've probably seen less than what you could count on one hand as far as shooting stars or meteorites. And the ones that I've seen have always been just sort of a glimpse of them out of the corner of my eye, and then I'll look up at the sky and it's gone. They've always been very, very high, a long way away. They've lasted only a matter of a second or two. There's been no explosion associated with them. And, I put them down to just, I was lucky that I saw that, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Now, on May 10th, which is the day David mentioned in his video, I went outside at my current location twice to have a cup of coffee. The first time was 7:27 and the second time was 9:28. On both occasions, having just made a coffee and got up randomly to go outside, I was greeted by two massive fireballs exploding over my location. One was so bright that the person I live with was sitting in his lounge room listening to some praise and worship music with headphones on and his eyes shut. I could see through his lounge room window that when the second one exploded, he jumped up and sort of had a look out the window. When I walked over to talk to him, he said, "Did you shine the torch in through the lounge room window, the flashlight?" And I said to him, "No, that was a second meteorite," because I'd brought to his attention that I'd seen one 3 hours earlier. And he said, "Wow, that one was so bright, it lit my eyes up even though I had my eyes shut." So he could see the flash through his eyes. And the very first thing he said to me was, "Do you think that could be a sign?" Now, the odds must be trillions to one that I would get up and make a coffee at 7:27, walk outside to see this massive streaking fireball going across the sky. I then went over to my friend and told him about the first one, came back to my caravan, sat around for 3 hours, decided I'd make another cup of coffee before I go to bed. I walked outside and the second one was so bright it lit the place up like daylight. And then I posted that on Facebook, and a friend of mine who's got a webcam asked me what time did I see these, and he checked his webcam on both occasions, so we'll play that. Now, I'll play all three of them, although one is much better than the other. We'll have a look. So that was the first one. He gave me a better view of them, which you'll see in a minute. That was the second one. I think he did a little zoom in with his camera to make them appear better. Here's the third one. That was the big one. So that was the ones at 9 You can see just turning 9:28 basically. We'll do that again. Right. He then questioned me when was the first one, which was this one here. Have a look at the timestamp. It was basically like a car went down the street because this one lasted for so long. It's hard to get it to work for some reason. There it is. That was the first one. That lasted a long time and sort of went horizontal in the sky rather than come straight down. So then it was caught on a Tasmanian website for the second one. This is in Hobart. This is the other end of the state, and it's looking north to where I am. So, oops, it's on Facebook, you'll see here. So, I caught two massive streaking fireballs. One at 7:27 area and one at 9:28. They were basically exactly 3 hours apart. Tell me what the chances are that I would just randomly go outside, and two occasions on the one night, 3 hours difference between the two, and see these huge, and these were not small, these were huge fireballs. I remember at the time thinking to myself, is that a sign, Lord? Because I've never seen anything like that in my life, let alone twice within a 3 hour period. So I don't know, you tell me. But David just mentioned in his video about signs on May the 10th. And I think I saw two. Hard to say. I'm going to leave it there. God bless everybody. G'day again, family. I'm going to splice this in to the end of my previous little video. So I hope you continue watching to the end. Something that just occurred to me after I made that video. I saw two fireballs. The first one was at 7:27:37, or just a few seconds afterwards, because it takes a few seconds for the video to get started. You can watch it in the actual playback of the videos I did in the first half of this video clip. The second one was 9:27:59. So basically 3 hours apart, minus a few seconds. There we go again, 9:27, and it basically started at basically 9:28 and 00 seconds. The first one was 7:27:37, and it started a few seconds after that. Sunset tonight in Israel on May the 13th, becoming May the 14th. Significant date. Sunset is 7:27. Although I think some sources say it's 7:26. Depends on where you look. This is just a weather app. I think time and date might have it as 7:26. So I've seen two massive fireballs in the sky, 3 hours apart, and the first one was basically the same time we see sunset tonight in Israel. I don't know what any of this means, but I find it very interesting. God bless, family. Keep looking up. I hope we're going home soon. I pray that I'm found worthy to escape all these things.